Hello everyone and welcome again to another short video of mine. Today I will give you a brief rundown on the current situation in West Papua. Most of you would have seen the videos and the post about the arrest and subsequent extradition of West Papuan Governor Lukas Enembe to Jakarta. So the process in which he was arrested and later forcefully extradited to Jakarta is suspicious because it did not follow the rules. So, as you all know, that the Papuan governor Lukas Enembe is not well. He's been very sick for a while. Recently, he went to Singapore for treatment and he came back. So there was also intelligent report that confirms that Mr. Enembe was poisoned. So that has actually affected his health. So when he came back to West Papua, he was under intense supervision by the Indonesian government. Especially they continue to monitor his movement and his whereabouts. So, and there was always continuous harassment of his life, including threats against him and his family. So the recent arrest of Mr. Enembe is something that should be condemned by every one of us, all good-thinking men and women, and also including the leaders of our region, and including the international community. Mr. Enembe is the duly elected leader of the West Papua, and his subsequent arrest and removal from West Papua is seen as a tactic by the Indonesian state to replace him with their own man. So what we have seen now, what we have seen that has just happened is that they've replaced him with somebody who is pro Jakarta. And this is the saddest day, the saddest time in the history of the West Papuan people, where you can see what's going to emerge is a dictatorship being played out here. So Lukas Enembe, or the governor of Papua, has been very vocal, and he's been a strong advocate for peace in Papua, and also he's been very is voicing his concern and opposition against this plan by Indonesian state to create new provinces, or we call it DOB. So what the Indonesian government is trying to do is they're trying to create these new provinces. So as far as we all know, MRP, Majelis Rakyat Papua, or the Papuan People's Council, have met with the indigenous Papuans and also Papuan People's Petition, where about 700,000 plus Papuans have rejected the idea were to create these new provinces, and also they've rejected the revised special autonomy laws. So Mr. Enembe has been very vocal on this, and he's been asking Jakarta that the people should be heard, their voice and their concerns should be heard by Jakarta. But in this case, Jakarta have sort of rejected and did not want to listen to the wish and the demands of the West Papuan people. So what has happened now we've seen is that because since Mr. Enembe has been sort of going against the wish of Jakarta, they're trying to remove him from the very day he's been, standing against. I mean, he's been sort of standing together with the people of West Papua and raising the concerns. So the recent move by Jakarta to arrest him under the circumstances where he was still very sick, and and then they flew him over to Jakarta. And while in Jakarta, he wasn't given that care, and he was taken to this hospital. He even insisted that he should have a support from his family, or somebody to be beside him, and he was refused all his requests. And we are extremely concerned with the well-being of Mr. Enembe right now when he's in Jakarta. He's now in Jakarta, and we, of course, wants the international community especially to pay a close attention to the current situation in West Papua, where the duly elected governor of West Papua has been extradited to Jakarta without any valid reasons, when he has cooperated from the very day when he was referred to anti-corruption watchdog, or KPK, or KPK. That's the Indonesian acronym for this anti-corruption watchdog. He has cooperated well with those investigations, and they actually acknowledged that he was very sick, so they would give him enough time. But what we have seen is that the way he was mishandled and treated and taken to Jakarta is very suspicious, because it comes in a time when Jakarta wants to really make sure that the person that's going to run Papua will be somebody that is pro Jakarta. So what we have seen now, what has happened now, they've replaced him with their own man. And West Papua is now being run by the military officials. So it's run by it's like a military government run by the police and the military. And the lives of 3 million people of West Papua are under extreme danger. And as a result, we are calling on the international community, especially United Nations and America, to pay a closer attention to the current situation in West Papua. And we want the United Nations to also, put a pressure on the Indonesian government to have Mr. Enembe released immediately, and in good condition, and have him sent back to West Papua to his family, so that he can continue the medical treatment that he desperately needed. And these doctors can also see him and monitor him. So currently he's still in Jakarta, and we basically don't know his situation right now. And we are appealing as well to the international community, UN, to look into this matter, and also to put the pressure on the Indonesian government to ensure that the safety of Mr. Enembe, his safety and well-being, is considered first. So anyway, this is just an update on the current situation in West Papua. So what we've seen is the Indonesian media, the way they portrayed him, and there was a press statement, not a press statement, that there was a media conference by some of the media organization in Indonesia, and you can see the online trolls, comments by the Indonesians, the way they made negative comments towards the Papuan governor. And there was one particular comment that sort of made me very angry, and said at the same time, when the commentator says that, who is this guy in the orange vest? Is he a human being or a monkey? So you can see that racial slur against the Papuan governor. Imagine this is the governor of Papua, and the way they treated him, and you can see all the negative comments by the Indonesians on during that Facebook Live conference in Jakarta, and how they portrayed Papuans as monkeys. So Again, this goes back to the actual how West Papua was integrated into Indonesia, was forcefully integrated into Indonesia. It's never meant to be part of Indonesia, so you cannot the black people cannot live together with Asians. It's a two totally different human beings. They cannot coexist together. So what we have seen, even the leaders of West Papua, even our leaders, are being called monkeys, and this racial slur continues on. So, I mean, we want to question this whole process of integration, Papua becoming part of Indonesia. I think it shouldn't have happened in the first place. The New York Agreement, which was co-brokered, supported by America, which resulted in West Papua being transferred to Indonesia. I think that process was illegal, and it never followed the the international process where, I mean, you should consult first with the indigenous leaders of West Papua if they want to be integrated with other nations. It never happened. So the Papuans were left behind. They were never consulted on this whole process of a New York Agreement, and they were like sheep being led to be slaughtered. So this is how West Papua is now, and how the problems that our people are facing, and for over 500,000 Papuans have died, and today we've got about 60,000 Papuans being displaced on their own land since 2018, and ongoing Indonesian military operations happening in the highlands of West Papua, and recently in Maibrat and in Yapen Island. So we've got about over 60,000 Papuans being displaced on their own land. And this is a concern, and we are appealing to the United Nations and the world leaders they need to think seriously about how to help stop all this violence and end this 50 or 60-year-old conflict in West Papua. Something needs to be done about it. We cannot allow Indonesia to continue act like a bully, being bullying against the people of West Papua. It needs to stop. So once again, thank you for your support, those that continue to support us in various ways, and we are appealing to you all to continue to pray for the people of West Papua, and also to pray for our governor, Lukas Enembe, who's currently being held in Jakarta against his own will. And we are appealing to the United Nations especially to put the pressure on the Indonesian government to ensure that the rights of Mr. Enembe is respected. So once again, thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you guys soon.